SciPoc is a very powerful tool used in Lean Six Sigma projects, and I encourage you to always use one for every project. They can be a little confusing at first, but again, are very powerful when used properly. The basis of Six Sigma is all about process. Understanding and identifying what those inputs and outputs to your process are is critical to a successful project. Process mapping. There are many different ways that we can do mapping of the current state process as well as the future state process. Process maps help us to see a tremendous amount of what's going on within the process. Remember too that there are always different resolutions of process maps, from high level to more detailed. Here's an example of a flowchart. You will notice that the beginning of a process and anytime there's the end of the process is represented with a circle or oval. Process boxes or process steps are represented by squares or rectangles. Decision boxes are represented by diamonds. There should always be two and only two arrows that come out of a decision box, a yes and a no. If we use those same flowcharting terminology and symbols, we can organize that into something called a swim lane flowchart. This allows us to see the workload within each function as well as who has the decisions, because decisions stop flow. Another type of flowchart is an alternate path flowchart. And you can see here that there are decisions that are made that can go either way. Value stream mapping is a specialized process map that comes from the Lean toolbox. The purpose of value stream map is to identify and eliminate waste. Value stream maps are typically done in the define phase of a project in order to identify problem areas of a process. The steps that we use to develop a value stream map start off by defining what the product family is. We then draw a current state map and a future state map. That future state map is typically 1 year from the time that we draw it, in order to keep it in perspective. Defining that product family is all based around processes. What are the common processes that those product families have? In value stream mapping, the value stream must be identified. The value stream is everything that it takes to get the product from raw material to finished goods to the customer. That includes both value added and non-value added steps. A value stream manager would be the individual that's in charge of that value stream. There are two types of value stream maps: the current state value stream map and the future state value stream map. Where do we want to go? We use those together in order to develop an implementation plan. Where are the problems and what can we do, specific actions that we do to eliminate those problems or eliminate the waste. There's standard nomenclature and symbology associated with value stream maps. FIFO is first in, first out. Kaizen means continuous improvement or small incremental improvements. So we would use a Kaizen burst in an area that we know that we can make improvements or need to make improvements. Kanbans are signals that help to manage inventory. The electronic flow of information is used with a skinny lightning bolt arrow. We may put safety buffer stock in there called standard work in process. We can also use a supermarket to do that. Customers and suppliers are represented with the source symbol. A withdrawal arrow is represented with the half circle. Inventory is always represented with a triangle. Material movement is always represented with a fat arrow. Any value stream map that you see will have these common symbology. Another tool that we use is an XY diagram. What we're doing here is looking at our input variables along the left side and our output variables along the top. So what are the process inputs and how do they affect process outputs? This allows us to quantify the impact that each input has on a weighted output.